Your take on the penultimate sauna last Monday.
Well, actually, before the Sona was delivered, I have already done a video on ano yung gagawin or sasabihin ni ng presidente dito sa kanyang Sona. And exactly as I predicted, binanggit niya nga lahat yung sinabi ko na sasabihin niya. Except hindi ko lang nabanggit doon itong yung pinag-uusapan niyo kanina, yung system losses at saka yung sa pahapyaw, sinabi niya yung sa bullying at saka yung racket. Hindi ko expect na isasama ito dito sa SONA. But basically, everything he said was, I think every Filipino has already predicted. This will be something about promises and not accomplishments.
Oh.
Ang problema dito sa SONA, ang SONA kasi dapat you have to discuss to the people where we were, saan tayo dati, nasan tayo ngayon, at saan tayo papunta. Maraming mga bagay ang hindi sinabi ang Pangulo. There are no specific details on the state of the economy, our GDP, our export, inflation rate, our response to the increasing prices of oil. Again, so wala tayong masyadong nadinig ng mga policy direction. Except this one, yung sinabi lang niya, yung system losses, nagtayuan, nagpalakpakan yung mga congressman. Without even discussing, paano yung mga detalye nito. Ako, naging director kasi ako ng electric cooperative dito sa Bataan before. And I know exactly how difficult it is to deal with this matter of system losses. It's not simple as saying, oh, baba natin, tanggalin natin yung system losses, and then tomorrow it's done. No, it's not. It's not gonna go down like that. Marami kang dapat didiscussing dyan. And wala, bukod doon sa sinabi niya na itong system losses ay dapat mawala, wala namang technical details. There's no specific plan as to how it will be done. So, in my mind, what happened was, in this SONA, hindi ito parang State of the Nation address, the regular State of the Nation address. I think this was more of a campaign address. Parang nangangampanya pa rin yung Pangulo dito sa kanyang SONA. It should not be done. After 4 years in office, the greatest campaign that you will have will be your achievements. Hindi mo na kailangan mangako sa mga mamamayan. So far, what we've heard ay mga puro pangako pa rin.
Pangako pa rin. Hi sir, good morning. Based po sa mga sinabi nyo ngayon, no, so parang ang lumalabas, wala po siyang specific at detalyadong roadmap in his next 2 years. Pero syempre, like ko nga sinasabi, ito personal ko po naman opinion, bilang Pilipino, dapat lahat po tayo ay talaga supportan siya kahit nakritiko tayo sa iba niyang mga polisiya at ibang mga gawain because his success is still our nation's success in the long run. So do you think in the next 2 years, less than 2 years na nga lang po, siya mismo nagsabi, ano pa po yung pwede magawa or have you totally lost hope?
With the amount of time that he has, na natitira, I really don't think that there is enough time for him to effect meaningful changes at this time. Effectively, actually, it's less than 2 years. Alam mo, in 2027, next year, by October, magfa-file na ng candidacy supposedly mga kandidato. And by that time, the focus of the political leaders would have shifted already to the next president. Kung sino man ang magiging kandidato ng administrasyon, doon na rin pupunta ang mga ang mga alliances na yan and yung loyalty niyan. Magkakaroon na siya ng problema diyan. But political history will tell us that this is yung period, yung final year mo will be the period na ikaw yung pinaka mahina na, no? This is a lame duck ka na dito sa panahon na to. So, I really don't think that there will be enough time for him to implement anything that is meaningful at this time unless nga meron silang they do something radical. Talagang magkakaroon ng massive swing ng suporta ng mamamayan sa kanya because at the moment, all the surveys are saying negative yung kanyang trust rating. Although nagva-vary lang sa number, the one thing that is common is that negative yung perception ng mga mamamayan sa kanya. So in my mind, judging it from from history, yung pinagdaanan na natin noon, the times remaining for the president are very few for him to implement anything meaningful at this time.
Okay. So, yun na nga, sadly, no, you feel that way na parang konting panahon na lang, parang hindi na masyado na maraming ma-accomplish. Pero dun po sa kanyang SONA, was there anything that stood out for you aside from the promise, no, na dapat hindi tayo mga consumer ang magbabayad dyan po sa systems laws na yan? Was there something aside from the one that you said na hindi nabanggit, no, ito sa silent tungkol dun sa mga yung economic natin, kung paano i-address yung pagtaas po ng mga presyo ng bilihin. Was there something that stood out at least na medyo sabi mo, saan ang galing yon? Na bakit yun ang sinabi?
Well, maraming memes. Makikita nyo yun, yung space program na sinasabi. Ano?
Okay.
That stood out in the mind of the people, not in a positive way, but rather in a negative way. Kasi a couple of weeks ago, binanggit na rin ito ng AFP Chief of Staff before, si Bronner, before he retired. The Philippines is going to start a space force.
program.
Yeah. Space Force nga yung binebenta ni
Bronner.
Bronner, no? Tapos biglang binanggit ni Pangulong Marcos itong space program. Maglo-launch na tayo ng
With
rocket.
Korea.
So everyone was saying, saan galing ito? There was not even an iota of idea na before this is happening, that something's going on. And you know that starting up a space program doesn't take months, ano? It
years.
takes years, even decades, bago nakapag-launch ang Korea ng sarili nilang rocket, ang China. It took years of preparation for the program. So for us to say na next year maglo-launch na tayo ng rocket, it seems not only ambitious, parang it's like science fiction. Parang it's never gonna happen. So why are we saying this in the midst of poverty, in the midst of rising prices and everything that's going on in the world? Why are we talking
Science fiction. Okay, that's a nice way of putting it. Okay.
So, yun na nga kasi sa Cagayan daw po i-launch, no? Taga Cagayan po yung mami ko. So, kapag yan natuloy, makukuha po ako ng ticket. Bye-bye, Earth! Punta na ako sa space.
Sa space, oo.
Next year, ikaw lang mag-isa
Yeah,
dito. Anyway, sir, I've been reading up on yung mga, mga naging panayam ninyo, mga pahayag ninyo. And what struck me was, talaga pong you've always been asking for accountability of public officials.
Yes.
Iugnay ko lang po ito, no, sa pinakahuling survey na nilabas po ng Pulse Asia noong July 20. Ang urgent concerns po ng Pilipino ngayon, at 57%, number 1 pa rin po inflation. And number 2 po, yung corruption and the accountability of our officials. At for me, magkaugnay po ito Kasi nga, kung tayo po ay may mga corrupt na opisyal, syempre, mas mababa po ang serbisyo, mas pangit po ang serbisyo na tatanggap natin kaya tumataas yung presyo ng mga bilihin, ng mga serbisyo, etc. So, nung kanya pong SONA, ang pauna po niya talagang parang pasabog. Mismong pinsan po niya na sinasabi nga po na kumbaga ay sabi daw, punot dulo daw po nitong flood control scandal na talaga namang nagkaroon ng malaking epekto sa pagbaba ng kanyang rating at ng kanyang administrasyon. Isn't this a call for accountability on his side? Or sa tingin niyo po, it's just part of a political theater? And if this is, in your opinion, a part of political theater na hindi naman magkakaroon ng katotohanan, ay nga po yung sinasabi ng ibang kritiko at saka ng mga nagda-doubt po, no? Ano po yung kailangan mapatunayan? Ano po yung maging pamantayan po ng kanyang administrasyon para sabihin na hindi lang po ito theatrics?
Well, on the first question, do I think it's theatrics? It is theatrics. This is political gimmickry. Because last week, Wednesday, naglabas ako ng video. Sinasabi ko na, this is what's gonna happen. Magpa-file sila ng kaso against Romualdez. And exactly, lo and behold, Friday, nagsampa daw ang ombudsman ng kaso against Romualdez. However, yung kasong isinampa nila after months of investigation, ang sinampahan pa lang sa ombudsman si Romualdez. So, sa ombudsman may proseso pa, magtatagal pa ito hanggat makarating ito sa Sandigan Bayan. So, sa haba ng investigasyon na yon, bakit hanggang nung Monday, wala pa rin palang warrant of arrest si Romualdez. And by contrast, tignan mo kung anong nangyari kay Senator Marcoleta, kay Mike Defensor. On Monday, before the start of the impeachment proceedings, may warrant of arrest na sila. So, inuhuli mo yung mga 75 million, kunyari ang aligasyon, yung kay Sara Duterte, 125 million. And now here, you have people accountable for supposedly billions and billions of pesos. Pero hanggang ngayon, ito pa rin tayo, parang just a slap in the wrist, kakasuhan ka namin, ha? There's nothing going on, really. Until you see these people who are supposed to be accountable doon sa nangyari sa flood control, unless the people see them in jail, people will not believe kung dito sa mga rhetorics na ito, sa mga drama na ito. At yung sinasabi na yun na ako hindi presidente ng aking pamilya, ng aking mga kapartido. Somebody said that before. Tatandaan nyo si Erap. Walang kumpare, walang kaibigan. This rhetorics, sanay na yung Pilipino sa ganito. And when we want results, we want to see accountability, we want to see people going to jail. Because the fact of the matter is, alam nating lahat that money was stolen from us, not just in the billions, I think trillions of pesos are already missing. People are suffering, naghihirap tayo, yung baha, tuloy-tuloy, and they promised to us a flood control that never existed. People are demanding for accountability. At hanggat hindi ito na-address ng Pangulo, ng totoong mga aksyon, hindi maniniwala ang taong bayan sa kanila.
Oo. So, ang nakikita nyo, Attorney Mike, ang pinakamalaking problema na kinaharap ng ating Pangulo is ang corruption, corruption at saka good governance. Sa sandaling panahon na lang po na natitira, sabi nyo nga, parang kay former Speaker Martin Romualdez lang po ang nakakasampa. Meron pa ba tayong inaasahan na mga malalaking isda? Sa tingin mo, si Zaldico, sa tingin mo ba ay tuluyan pa rin nilang hinahanap? Madadagdagan ba ang mga nasa payatas? Between now until the President steps down in 2028, are you optimistic na at least maski na papaano ay mababawasan yung bahid po ng korupsyon?
I don't think so. Because yung sa mga naging kilos, even in the Blue Ribbon Committee, before nag-take over si Ping Lacson, maganda yung direction ni Senator Marcoleta when he was conducting the investigation. After nag-take over si Ping Lacson, it appears parang dumami na yung mga pinagtatakpan dito. Would you imagine, sina Bersamin, yung Undersecretary at saka si Executive Secretary Bersamin, their names were specifically mentioned. Si Pangandaman was specifically mentioned. Si Ping Lacson pa yung nagbanggit sa kanila sa Senado, nung chairman pa siya ng Blue Ribbon Committee. Pero ni walang investigasyon na ginawa laban sa kanila. Why? Because if the investigation will actually be conducted, the paper trail, the money trail is gonna end up in Malacanang. And in Malacanang, it's Bongbong Marcos. So I think that the reason why Bersamin is not being called in an investigation, despite na specific na pinangalanan siya ni Ping Lacson na kumuha ng pera, walang tinulong, walang tinawag, walang investigasyon tungkol sa kanya, because that's right there. That's right there in the doorsteps of Malacanang. So there is, for me, as an observer, I think what is happening is still parang a grand cover-up to remove the bigger fish, yung mas malalaki pang mga isda dito sa kontrobersiya na ito. Nasaan yung mga congressman na sinasabi ng mga 65 contractors? Nasaan yung 15 na sinabi ni BBM noon ng mga favored contractors? Bakit sa mga kasong isinampa ngayon, bakit parang mas marami yung state witness kaysa doon sa actual na kinasuhan? Ngayon lang nangyari yan. Mas marami yung exempted kaysa doon sa kakasuhan. Baka I think something is really wrong with the system when ganito yung nangyayari. At yung confidence ng kumpiyansa ng mga tao na may mangyayari ito sa mga flood control issues na ito, hindi ma-reconcile ng mga mamamayan yung kanilang pagnanais sa katarungan, sa sa sitwasyon ng kasalukuyang pamumuno na makakarating sila doon sa katarungang hinahanap nila.
Okay.
Nako, ito na nga po, pinag-uusapan po natin yung mga investigasyon. Ang natuloy naman po investigasyon ay yung impeachment trial po ni Vice President Sara Duterte. And I'm sure sinusubaybayan nyo rin po siya, no? So, ano po
Opo.
sa tingin nyo yung direksyon na pinatutunguhan po nito?
But from the start, sinabi ko na noon na this impeachment proceedings is not a question of legality. It is not a question about yung mga testigo, ebidensya. I think there is absolutely none that they can have produced or anything there sa Kongreso, sa Senado na magpuproduce that will result to the impeachment of VP Sara. Because realistically speaking, wala silang bilang. They needed 16 senators to impeach VP Sara Duterte. Right now, they don't have that number. So, why is this going on? Bakit may impeachment pa? Ipinilit pa rin. Because this is propaganda. This is propaganda war. And the witnesses so far presented, makikita ninyo, wala talaga pang after 5 witnesses already, wala pa silang naikakabit diretso, no, na matibay na ebidensya. And if this is a propaganda war, I think the administration has already failed. The prosecutors have already failed. Kasi wala silang mailabas na talagang pasabog na makikita ng mga taong bayan na sasabihin na magbabago ng isip yung mga tao, ay magnanakaw pala talaga si VP Sara. So far right now, there's nothing, you know.
So are you confident that she'll be acquitted? Kasi nasa second item pa lang tayo, Article 4, no? Second issue pa lang.
Article
Sinasabi pa Article 1. No, kaya nga, I mean, di ba there are 4 articles. So yung second issue pa lang ang tinatakel. So sinasabi nga nila, aabot pa ng 90 days. So sa tingin mo, sa haba ng prosesyon, ma-acquit si VP Sara?
Yes, I think so. You know, itong impeachment kasi, it's not a legal process. It is a political process. Pinag-uusapan mo dito, actually, hindi ebidensya, kundi bilang. Kaya itong nangyayari sa
bilang.
Pilipinas. Bilang ito. So, if you don't have the numbers, you don't have an impeachment. You cannot remove the president with 13 senators. So that's a reality that the administration is facing right now. But that's why they're doing everything para pababain yung bilang ng opposition, hoping that they can lower the threshold of the numbers of senators na boboto kay against or for Sara Duterte. Kaya nga pinag-uusapan pa 22 na ang basihan ng bilang, dapat 14 na lang, dapat 15 na lang. Because they know they don't have the required number. But as the impeachment trial progresses at habang tumatagal ito, this is working against the prosecution. Because it is working against the prosecution. Kasi sabi ko nga sa inyo, this is a battle for the hearts and minds of the people. And the service will show that people are not interested in the impeachment. I think only 1 out of every 10 Filipinos are now just watching the impeachment. So mababa ang interest level ng mga tao dito sa impeachment. It's because many are getting bored by the
hearings.
process. Hearings. Tapos wala namang nangyayari. Wala namang pasabog. Nakakaantok na yung mga presentation nito, mga prosecution kasi sa sila pa nagpe-presenta ng ebidensya. So all of that is a matter of optics.
Okay. My last question. My last question, Attorney Mike, do you think there is still a chance for the president to redeem himself given the short term na lang that he has, na whether that's 1.5, 2 years or whatever, between now and 2028 when he steps down, meron pa ba siyang redeeming factor?
It will take a lot for him to redeem himself with all of these issues and controversies against him that has accumulated over 4 years. I think 1.5 years will not be enough to erase everything. Secondly, ang question dyan is the willingness. Are you willing to make that ultimate sacrifice para kilalanin mo yung mga totoong kamalian ng administrasyon and to arrive at a concrete solution? You see, the number one rule in solving a problem is recognizing that there is a problem. Ma-identify mo kung ano yung problema. But if they are lost as to what is the real problem of the people, ano talaga yung totoong inireklamo natin, then they will never arrive at the concrete solution because ang iisipin dyan nila lagi will be the 2028 elections, how to remain in power, how to protect yourselves after you are outside of Malacanang.
Oo.
I think these things will haunt them and will eventually gonna make things worse, ano, not improve the situation.
Okay. Nako, sige po. So, Attorney Mike, I'm sure we will have you back because the president still has 2 years remaining. We are watching this impeachment trials as it unfolds. Tingnan natin kung anong pang mga mangyayari, kung may mga pasabog na bago, kung ano pang mga pwede mangyari sa ating bayan. At tayo po ay hoping for the best pa rin. Kaya maraming salamat po, Attorney Mike.
Thank you, sir.
Maraming salamat din po sa ASPN, sa Net25 for inviting me back.
Thank you, Sir
Just
Mike.